Okay, so I went ahead and voided the warranty on the Purifresh. Wasn't hard to dismantle, which is good. So you basically take this is the front cover. You can take it off, and you're allowed to take it off without voiding the warranty, and remove this cover in order to clean the heat exchangers if you want to. Now here are the heat exchangers. There's only two. You can see they have quite a thin gap between them, and there's these little bumps on the plastic sheet to separate the sheets of plastic, which are apparently, yes, indeed, coated with silica gel. I can smell the silica gel. I don't know why silica gel smells, but it does. Just a very slight smell. It's not a significant contaminant in the air that's going to be flowing through them. So I don't know. It seems to be legit. The guy's certainly not lying about anything. And also, interestingly, the machine does reflect the patent, which I looked up. Now, that's not always true because you can change it. Like, you can do whatever you want in the real world, and it doesn't mean it has to reflect the patent. So this is, I don't know, kind of a curiosity. The flow switch is made apparently from glued together acrylic, which is probably laser cut. Which is not a bad design. And there's a motor in there. You can see a toothed timing belt, which turns the flow switch. And there's either one fan with a single shaft or maybe two motors. It's not clear if it's two motors with two blades or it's just one motor, a single shaft, and two blades that does the airflow. And yeah, I mean, it's not. It looks like this is hot glue or something. It's not. It's silicone RTV. It seems to be, reasonably durable, something that should last. I don't want to comment on too much stuff. This is interesting because it's 3D printed apparently. So the guy's 3D printing his own components, which is a legitimate technique. It's nothing to scoff at. I do that too. But also, there's actually a lot of companies that are doing that kind of thing these days. And it's a small component. It's probably pretty fast to print, and it works just fine. So that's fine. These metal parts appear to be plasma or laser cut, probably plasma cut, and then bent on a bending press. Now, one objection that I do have is the riveting that is used, and that's really hard to maintain. And if you need to dismantle this, I can't actually dismantle it without destroying it because it's all riveted and glued together, which is not good. That's really not good. You should use screws whenever possible. But anyway, it seems to be fine. I was afraid of finding toxic materials or all kinds of nasty dust or something. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Hopefully you didn't use lead solder in there or anything. Everything seems to be reasonable. Now, one thing I did notice, and I do criticize, is that it is using 110 volts AC. It's got a metal cover. It's probably grounded, but the thing is, when you do that, it's important to get UL certification because you are using 110 volts AC directly into the machine. What I do is I have a power supply, that contains all of the electronics that do the power handling. And then the power supply cannot electrocute anyone, and no one can get electrocuted from the case or anything like that. Now, I'm not saying that this is dangerous, but there are regulatory issues when you use 110 volts directly in the appliance. It's better to have a power supply and then use DC in the power supply. So the fans would be DC motors that run on low voltage, like 12 volts. That's what I do. Because then the UL listing is not a problem, the power supply is UL listed, and the appliance itself is inherently safe. This also could be exposed to water because it is in the window. There could be a storm. You could get water in here, and that could be a problem. So that is a significant concern, but it's kind of a far-fetched safety type concern. Doesn't mean the machine doesn't work just fine. We've got an interesting case here with the way the flow switch works. You can see the air comes in here from one fan, and it goes around the periphery of the flow switch, and then the other air, which is the ingress air, goes through the back of the flow switch. You can read in the patent about how that works. It does a reasonably good job of explaining things. I don't know why they painted the steel inside the appliance. Probably for corrosion, I guess. Yeah, this is steel, so it could corrode eventually. It kind of look nasty. But it would probably work just fine, unless you get salt on it, which is not very likely. So anyway, I don't really want to dismantle it anymore because I'd have to destroy it, which I was hoping to sell it to somebody else, possibly for testing or whatever else. So yeah, it's a curious machine. If the original inventor ever sees this, I'm sorry I'm a little bit critical. He obviously worked really hard on it, and it works just fine as far as I can tell. It's just that it's a bit loud. My testing of the efficiency indicates that it's approximately correct. Whatever is claimed on the website is approximately correct. My testing is indicating a little bit lower efficiency, but that's to be expected. I mean, let's face it, my testing is not super accurate either, and it is in range of what's claimed on the website. And the heat exchangers are coated in silica gel, which is good. I don't know if they have enough silica gel or if the particle size is suitable, but probably it's just fine. They are actually made by a company apparently that makes this heat exchanger media for a different kind of machine, which is used commercially. I don't know how I managed to do a deal with them, but anyway. I keep saying he. I don't know actually if it's the guy or who it is, but anyway, it's certainly a fascinating example of an entrepreneur making an appliance from basic components and ingredients and with digital fabrication. So that's certainly really cool. And yeah, if you are really into the white box thing, then this is probably the choice for you. Except that it's really loud, which a lot of people are not sensitive to noise. Those people probably aren't sensitive to indoor pollutants either. But it could be the machine for you. Now you know for sure that it exists and it's real and it's legitimate.